gentlemen, welcome, welcome to Madame Rosalie's Big Top Circus. During tonight's spectacular, you will witness some of the greatest wonders of the world. But first, please, no flash photography and silence all cell phones. Then, turn your attention to our incredible acts. See the brute strength of the strong man. Blink and you'll miss our acrobats swinging through the air. Then, hear our big band play. After the show, be sure to stop by the bewildering Belladonna to have your fortune told and see Karabnik the Great swallow swords and perform magic tricks. There will be a 15-minute intermission where you can purchase snacks, drinks, and baked goods galore and donate to keep our show running next year. Until then, sit back, relax, and enjoy this wonderful evening.
Well, Mom, it's been a while.
My darling son, my Dorian. What a shame to finally see you after so many years and for it to be under such dreadful circumstances. To return only to pack my things away, and the apartment's already a ruin. I can't believe you have to see it in such terrible condition. I haven't swept the floors or dusted the furniture. Goodness, what a mess.
I guess you've kept a lot of things over the years, but I didn't know you ended up in the studio.
Why would you? Never recall any better than to expect a visit? Nothing grand or spectacular at all. It's all I could afford with what I had left over the years. Not quite like my circus tent. It's more cluttered, but with less glamorous things. I've had to sell most of my costumes. In fact, I bought this place mostly furnished. The only thing I brought with me was my vanity. That and this photograph, a gift from my beloved Mavis. I did everything I could to ensure that I wouldn't have to part with it. How dearly I miss her.
The floors are wrecked, the curtains are filled with holes. The paint looks like it's been peeling for decades.
I know, it's truly embarrassing, and nothing I could do, really. I had to make the best of it. Too old and too broke to do anything else.
I'm sorry, Mom. I know we had our differences, but I don't know. How could I have stayed with you after?
How can I blame you?
Where do I even start with all this?
If it were up to me, we wouldn't be starting anything at all. Instead, we'd be having some coffee and cookies, and you tell me about where you've been for the last 20 years. If you're married, if you have kids, what kind of career you wound up in, and what your house and the neighborhood is like. But you've made your interests clear to me in the past, and I know that'd be asking too much of you. In all honesty, I'm surprised to see you here at all, but of course it's too late for us to make amends. I know you'd never forgive me, but it's of no use to dwell on such bitter moments so far in the past. When we're faced with the terrible task of packing away, I don't care to entertain guests today.
Ian, I can't believe it. Is that really you? Oh, I haven't seen you in goodness, how long has it been?
Malcolm.
Oh, please, how many times do I need to tell you? Call me by my first name. There's no need for formalities.
Belladonna, then.
Oh, I just knew you'd come, but I'm so surprised to see your face. And goodness, how it's changed. You've grown so much, and your hair's longer than it used to be.
It was easier to keep shorter back then.
Of course. Oh, Ian, packing things up by yourself.
Yeah, what else could I do? I know things weren't great between us, but I couldn't let the state take everything.
I'm so sorry to be seeing you during such difficult times. I'm not sure how much help I'll be in my old age, but I'll be happy to help in any way I can.
It's really okay, Miss Belladonna, but I can handle it myself.
Oh, please. After everything your mother and I went through, let me help you pack up.
Oh, really? I appreciate it, but this is something I need to do alone.
All right. Now, you know my house is only a few houses down here. That blue one over there. So, if you need anything, you can always come and find me.
Thank you, and thank you for calling to let me know. I don't know why she didn't tell me things were getting rough.
Always stubborn, your mother. But deep down, I know she'd be happy you were here.
maybe go to lesson, right?
I
Doubtful Handler would want to keep those curtains. I don't have the energy to start with the vanity. I guess maybe the box is not too intimidating. I ought to get a trash bag, but that feels wrong, doesn't it? Good night, though. It's me and there's Nick and Belladonna and Mom, the clowns, the band leader, and there's Mavis.
thank you all. I hope you've had a thrilling evening filled with wonder and magic. Please visit our fortune teller, the bewildering Belladonna, or see Karavnik the Great swallow swords in our smaller tents outside before you leave.
Mom, come on, it wasn't that bad.
Wasn't that bad? Where was the audience, Ian? Only half of the seats were filled.
That is a fine audience, and they loved it. Didn't you hear them cheering and laughing? They were roaring, Mom. They loved it.
I hadn't noticed. It seemed more like a rehearsal than a performance to me, don't you think?
Mom, it's a small town we're in here anyway. We got a great crowd.
Ian, when we first started, before you were born, those seats were filled every night. People would be waiting in line to get tickets from across the state, and when they sold out, people who couldn't get seats would crowd outside and try to listen. They were spectacular. Even when you were a boy, they were packed like sardines, don't you remember? How can you stand there, look me in the eyes, and lie to me, and say that that was a fine audience?
Mom, you can't think like that. Times are changing, and there are more things to do besides go out to the circus.
It's not the competition. That's the problem. It's the act. We're all too comfortable. And now we're not as good as we used to be. The people don't want to see us anymore. And those seats are empty because we made them empty. No one has worked as hard as I have to keep us afloat. And no one commits to their performances or to the circus anymore. And now look where we are. The audience gets smaller and smaller every night.
Mom, you know that's not true. We all live for the circus. We're putting everything into this. You know that. This is our family. Why would we let our home fall?
Ian, we're not working hard enough. And whether or not you want to admit it, I know that you all go out after the show sometimes.
What does that have to do with anything?
Don't lie, Ian. I know that you all go out and you talk and you stay out late. And then when it's time to pack up and move on, you're all tired. And then when it's time to rehearse, you're only giving 50%.
I
Don't make excuses. You all know the rules. And clearly you all think I'm dumb enough not to notice. I don't mind you all having your fun, but now the show is suffering. And I'm not turning a blind eye.
Look, Mom, we only go out when we are performing the next day, and only to check out the town. I swear to you, none of us are messing around. We're giving this everything we've got. The audience is dwindling because the circus isn't as popular as it used to be.
Maybe you're right. Maybe times really have changed. If that's truly the case, then we should all be working twice as hard so that the people choose us over the competition. And you're falling short. Maybe what we really need is something new. Something better. A fresh attraction will bring back our audience,
Oh
Ian.
no, I don't think a new attraction is going to
If
do it.
what we have now isn't good enough, then we need something new. Now, I've heard enough tonight. Now, please go. I'd like to be alone with my thoughts.
But Mom, I really think that this isn't going to work.
Ian, do I really need to repeat myself?
She's not happy. She said the stands were empty and it's our fault. According to her, we haven't been putting enough effort into the show, and since she's been going out, we're only giving 50%.
That's so rude. She used to have the town's Now, she just sits in her tent at the vanity, working, she says.
She thinks a new act might attract her numbers.
That's something you could be interested in, but I don't think she'll ever be satisfied.
Does this scare you? That we aren't as popular as we used to be? Do you really think we're in jeopardy?
I don't know. I want to say that it's just Rose being Rose and that we've got nothing to worry about, but it's true. We're still doing fine. Just because the hit isn't a full house doesn't mean it's not a good crowd, but I don't know how many years we have left before people are no longer interested in the songs.
Hey, what are we whispering about? Nothing. Mavis, you did great tonight.
Well, thank you, Ian.
Alright. I'll see you all in the morning.
Bye.
Night.
Oh, Ian, it's so nice out tonight. There's a breeze, the sky is clear. Come on, we've got to go into town.
No, we have to be at work tomorrow.
Look, I promise. We won't be out for long. You can't stay home on a night like this. How about just for 2 hours?
I don't know. My husband didn't want me to.
Please, I've been thinking about going to town with you ever since we got here. And the weather's so perfect. Come on, she won't notice. How about just for an hour?
All right, fine, Mavis. But seriously, not too long tonight.
Yes, let's go.
Going back.
Nick! What can I help you with?
Rosie wasn't satisfied with the audience.
Tell me something I don't know.
She wants to add a new act to the show.
What does that mean for us? Is she moving us to the main stage?
I don't know. Maybe not me, but you certainly did it. You work harder than anyone else here.
Careful now. No one works harder than Rosie. Besides, according to her, I don't deserve it. A fortune teller can't entertain a whole audience at once. That's why they visit me before and after the show for one-on-one transactions. Well, what about us together?
What do you mean?
Well, a magician and a fortune teller sort of go hand in hand. You can take smaller tricks and turn them into larger scale bits. Think about it.
Robin the Great and his assistant, the bewildering Peloton. You could be my assistant.
Not a terrible idea. Maybe with some tweaking.
What makes you think she'll choose us over somebody else?
We have experience. We know how it works.
Yes, but we're still sideshows, and if she moves us inside, then there's nobody left to collect extra cash from the stragglers who got here too early or don't feel like going home. Especially from people who go out of their way to visit us.
Yes, but that's the thing, Nick. We're still the sideshows. Isn't it time for someone else to take a turn? Isn't it time we got to move up the ladder and have other shows take over our spots on the sides? And go back to how it used to be. When you start on the sides and work your way up to the main stage, it's our turn.
Well, how do you suggest we do then?
Why don't we talk to her about it?
And disturb her after half the seats were empty? That seems like a bad idea. Maybe we should wait a little on this one.
What else do we have to lose?
Oh, Ian, look how cute this town is. I love all the lights. Yeah, lead the way, Mavis. What do you want to see first? You know I like to see everything in the shop windows. Says a lot about a town. But tonight, I have something else planned. What are you up to, Mavis? You'll see. Mavis, where on earth are we going? And slow down, will you? I can barely see out here. Just trust me and watch your step. Some of these cobblestone steps are loose. Isn't it beautiful? I found it yesterday when I ran to town to grab a couple things for your mom. It's pretty in the day, but gosh, it's more beautiful at night. It is beautiful. You know, it reminds me of a scene in a book I read. They describe going out to a little pond like this, enjoying the water and the stars. Only difference was they were in a boat, but it feels just as stunning. Ian, what were you and Nick whispering about? I know it was something serious. My mom wasn't happy with the crowd tonight. She feels like we're not putting in enough effort to keep people coming to our shows. Knew she'd be disappointed. No matter how much the crowd cheers, she's always caught up in the numbers. She's even thinking of creating some kind of new act to try to draw more attention. That's not a bad idea. What do you think? I don't know, Mavis, but you know what I do know is Utopia here is so peaceful. Let's just forget about the circus for a little while. Tell me more about the book. Well, part of it's about this widow and how she finds love again. But I didn't care about the romance. I like the book because of its details. The town just sounded so lovely. It makes me wonder if we'll find a little town like that, with a little corner store, big old porches to watch the sunset, and a great stream running through the town where we can swim in the summer. Sounds so lovely. Sounds a lot different from life on the road.
Well, as much as I love the circus, I don't think it's forever. One day I like to settle down in one place.
Mavis, I have something to confess to you.
What is
It's
it?
just that, Mavis, I think you're so wonderful, and
Come on, Ian. Here to go.
How should we go about this? Maybe one of us go alone?
All right, why don't you go? You're actually more versatile. You might have more ideas to bargain with.
Okay. Rose, do you have a moment?
Who is it?
Nick,
All right, come in.
your son mentioned you were thinking about a new act of the show.
How does this pertain to you?
I have an idea.
All right, go on.
What if me and Belladonna work together as a magician and assistant duo? We could do larger scale production while providing something new for the audience.
No.
But why? I have plenty of tricks, and we can combine them with her persona and...
I'm looking for something new, Nick. A magician is fun, yeah, but it's not enough. I need something the audience hasn't seen before. Or maybe something the audience hasn't seen in a while.
Rosie, we've been here for a long time now. Don't you think we deserve to be on the main stage?
Nick, maybe it isn't clear to you because I know you've worked other shows before, so let me explain how this one operates. It isn't about seniority. Doesn't matter how long you've been here or how close you are with who. Your role doesn't change. You were assigned to it and it doesn't change. And the main stage is for main stage performers who can do more than one act. You and Belladonna aren't main stage performers. You're side acts. And that'll never change. Now, leave me so that I can continue to find a real solution to the problem.
We're never leaving those tents.
Ian, Nick, so glad you could join us. Later than everyone else as usual, but now that you have decided to grace us with your presence, there is a lot of work to be done today.
What is she up to now?
I don't know.
Okay, so we only have a few days to do this, so we're going to need all hands on deck. I have decided that Madame Rosalie's Big Top Circus needs something new, which has become outdated. And when deciding what to introduce to our show, I realized that sometimes to truly appeal to the modern taste, we need to go back to our roots. Perfect timing. There she is. I have chosen Mavis to fill the shoes of our newest star. Mavis, come over here. Yes, Miss Rosalie. We are going to be taking things to new levels here. Mavis is going to be soaring higher than ever.
I don't have a good feeling about this.
Mavis will be reviving our history of aerial acrobatics. We were once known for these acts, but eventually the crowd demanded other spectaculars, and aerials went out of fashion. Now they are hard to come by, which is why now is the perfect time to bring them back.
What? Mavis is doing aerial acrobatics. Is that even safe?
I'm sure she'll be supported by cables.
Alright, so we don't have much time, so we're going to need all hands on deck. I will be assigning you all different roles, whether that's costume making or assisting in set design. But first, I will give you all the hour to finish breakfast. And after all your job duties are assigned, Mavis and I will be working in the main tent.
Mavis, are you okay with this?
It looks like I don't have much of a choice, but maybe it'll be fun. I guess I'll find out. Mavis grew to become the daughter I never had. And of course she was unsure at first, but being thrown into aerial stunts is daunting. She handled it with such grace. How beautiful she was on stage. And the crowd adored her, amazed by her ability to soar through the air. For a while, our circus was packed again. It was magnificent. And then, I can't bear to relive it again. Please, Ian, don't let it consume you any longer.
I'll make 2 piles. Heap and garbage. But that still doesn't feel right. Maybe 3 piles. Heap, garbage, and donate. must give her close.
Close? We were never even friends. Mavis proves that, and I should have seen it sooner.
Mavis? You chose Mavis? I can understand you casting me and Nick aside, but choosing Mavis is an insult to both of us. After everything we put into this place, after all the years, you choose a teenager who's barely been with us 10 weeks to be the next top stage performer? It must be some sort of joke to you. Or are you so obsessed with her
want you to take a deep breath, and when you dive, let it all out. I want you to feel like you're flying, like a bird. I want you to take all of that weight on your shoulders and let go of all of it. Don't think about your form. Don't think about the audience. Don't think about failure or success. Think about things that make you feel like you're floating. Can you imagine it?
Yes.
Good. Now let's try again.
Marvelous Mavis, Ralph, Malton, Indiana. Marvelous Mavis and Madame Rosalie Bigtop headed to Ohio. Madame Rosalie Circus sells out shows across Tennessee. I guess you were right, Mom. It did what you wanted for a while. We had our seats full of him, but it still wasn't good. A Marvelous Mavis. Tragic stunt accident. Marvelous Mavis falls. Madame Rosalie to blame. Unsafe equipment leads to circus stuff. Why would she keep these? Why keep her or bind her?
They called it a tragic accident. But I checked those cables myself. I did everything I could to make sure she was safe. I don't know what went wrong. Wasn't that spectacular, folks? There's more where that came from. Stay tuned for Big Top's big band, and then the moment you've all been waiting for, the Marvelous Mavis.
You ready?
Well, I'm always a little bit nervous.
You're going to be great. You always do.
Looks good. All right, Mavis. Good luck. And remember what I told you. Deep breath, let go, and soar. Miss Rosalie had a 6-4 tour dates at the end of the month. We're really taking off.
Hope she gets a break after that. Especially you. You must be exhausted, Mavis.
Well, it's tiring, but I love it at the same time.
She's not too hard on you, is she?
No, of course not. She's been nothing but encouraging.
Really? Wow, maybe she has a soft spot for you, Mavis.
Woo! Looks like I'm about to go on.
Good luck. Mavis, I love you.
I love you too. And now, the Marvelous Mavis! Woo!
We're clear?
There's nobody else here. Everyone's either on stage or watching you.
Perfect. When she's out of commission, Rosie will have to listen to us. There'll be no one else who can handle the main stage.
Are you sure about this? Maybe it's not worth all the trouble.
What's the alternative, Nick? Do you want to keep living the same days over and over again, kept in the shadows? No one comes here from you and I, but don't you wish that they would? There's no other way. Look, it's a common accident in aerial acrobatics. Things snap, and so will she. Not all the way, just snap. Perfect.
That most definitely won't fold.
Come on, outdoor tents.
Mavis! No! Mavis! The circus was thriving. Mavis was magnificent. And then she died. When I first saw her and my son, I didn't know what to do. Mavis was like a daughter to me, and she died in a position I had placed her in. I checked those cables myself, but maybe I overlooked something, placed wrong or worn out. Even if I hadn't blamed myself, the show couldn't continue. The people wanted Mavis, and now it was the circus's fault for killing her. So, that was it. We have lost a dear member of our family. Our Mavis is gone. I know some of you believe it was a tragic accident, and some of you blame me, and I have no defense. All I can say is that I loved Mavis as much as any one of you. And for that reason, the show cannot go on. Thank you all for pack our things and go our separate ways.
I knew it from the start that this was a bad idea. Everyone told me she'd be fine, but she's dead now. She's dead.
We need to talk now.
About what, Belladonna? It's over! What more could you possibly have to say?
Shutting this down is not the answer. You're putting us all out of a job and a home. Where are we all going to go? Not everyone is going to be able to find a job and a place to stay right away.
First of all, the public blames me and the circus for what happened to Mavis, and they wouldn't support a reopening anyway. More importantly, we have just lost a member of our family, and the show cannot and should not go on without her. And as long as we're not performing, there's no more money to be made here. And even if there was, we're mourning. People have things to do. People will run out of savings and opportunities will pass. The longer we stay here, the harder it will be to move on. People are capable of success. Every one of us. They have succeeded here, and now they'll have to succeed somewhere else.
Rosie, this is madness. Shutting it down now? The world is looking to us. We can reopen in her honor. With acts to replace her, we can go back to the thing we
Is
had.
that all you care about? Listen to yourself, Belladonna. Replace her? Mavis just died, and you're so engulfed in your fantasy of becoming a star that you want the rest of us to just get over it? It's disgusting. We are mourning. Mavis wasn't someone who you could just replace. And if the others were here to hear what you just said to me, I can only imagine how angry they'd be. Get out of my sight. I do not want to speak to you another minute. I am going to mourn Mavis and try to get my son to speak to me. And until the end of the month, I do not want to see you again. Do you understand? You're lucky that I let you stay until the end of the month with the rest of us.
What happened to you, Rosie? What happened to the ringmaster who fought for this place, no matter the stakes, no matter the odds? You gave everything to make the show perfect, and now you're just throwing it all away? And you mean to tell me that you really loved Mavis, that she was like a daughter to you? Or did you just love the success she brought you?
It used to be about success. Mavis brought back the audience I wanted, but I loved her for who she was. And maybe you don't understand that, but I do not need to explain myself to you. And I already told you to get out of my sight!
Letters from Belladonna and just about every newspaper clipping about Mavis ever published. I think it's time to take a look at the vanity. This one looks like it's filled with a bunch of costume and makeup repair tools. More letters from Belladonna. This one's from Nick. They're all unopened.
And I thought I'd bring you some snacks and lemonade. I figured most of the things here are probably a bit old. Now, I know you said you didn't want any help packing away, but I thought I'd offer again just in case.
Thank you, and, since you're here, I think I actually have a few things to ask you. What exactly happened between my mom and everyone after I left?
Well, most people were devastated, both because of Mavis and because we lost our home. I think a lot of people blamed Rosie. As far as I know, she lost touch with everyone after they left. She was the last to go.
But you sent her letters.
I tried for a long time to reach out to her. I knew she felt guilty about Mavis, but it was an accident. But she never responded, so I thought I'd see her in person.
But why? Chicken, sure, but why live here?
She was my only friend, really. Especially after Nick died.
Nick died?
He passed away shortly after the circus disbanded. Don't know what happened to him. Saw his obituary in the newspaper after the funeral and visited his grave.
Did my mom know? Why didn't you tell me?
I don't know if Rosie knew. I couldn't contact you at the time, and even if I did. We had already missed the service.
He sent her a letter. She never opened it, but she kept it in a drawer.
Where? You have to let me read it.
What? Belladonna, no, it was for my mother. I can't let you read it. Besides, she wouldn't even answer your letters, so I can't imagine she'd want you to read her mail.
Ian, listen to me. Rosie was a dear friend of mine. Sure, she grew distant over her guilt about Mavis, and Nick was even closer to me. I deserve to read that letter.
I said no. I think it's time for you to leave now, Belladonna. I'm not sure what story you're trying to tell me, but he didn't send it to you. If he wanted you to read it, why send it to my mom? I don't know what story you're trying to tell me, but she kept your letters in a bin and refused to read them.
How dare you, Ian? After everything I did for you, for Rosie, you wouldn't even know about her if I didn't call you. And now you have the nerve to push me out the door saying she had a reason for pushing me away? And now we have a letter from Nick that might tell us what happened to him, and you refuse to share it with me. I demand to know. I demand to see it.
You don't get to demand anything, Belladonna. Everything in this apartment is in my possession. You don't get to choose what happens to it. I'll be happy to let you know if I learn anything about Nick, but I am not letting you dig through my mother's belongings. I don't get to hear her side of the story, but for some reason, she stopped speaking to you. Just leave me to mourn my mother in peace. Mom, I know I disappeared after Mavis died, but I know you, and you never did anything without a reason. Belladonna says you were filled with guilt and isolated yourself. I don't believe that. I know that I blamed you, but you closed the circus over her. She told me she was happy working with you, and I still said terrible things. I said you did it because you couldn't come back from the publicity, but I was angry, and I think I was wrong. I think you did love Mavis, and that something happened between you and Belladonna. I don't know why you kept Nick's letter, but I think there was a reason you didn't open it.
I can't believe it. Rosie has totally lost it. Shine it down? An entire group passed the curb, and all because one person died. We could have made a new act, gone on tomorrow, and the world would have moved right along with us. But now, Mavis was special. Mavis can't be replaced. Everyone can be replaced. Choosing her in the first place was a mistake, and now shutting down the circus? She was supposed to go, and Rosie was supposed to listen to us. No Neptune could handle the main stage. But now, we can't go on without our beloved little prize-winning Mavis.
She wasn't supposed to die.
The only reason anyone even liked to come and see her was because she had a pretty face. Cute, perfect little Mavis. Watch her do her pretty little flips, but in the air. How incredibly impressive.
She wasn't supposed to die, Belladonna. You said it was a common accident. I thought she'd just be injured, something she could heal from. And we'd offered to fill in since we already had ideas for what we could perform. And then Rose would decide to keep us or eventually put us along with Mavis. She wasn't supposed to die. She was a person, a human being, and she was only a teenager, and you killed her.
I killed her? No, 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 no. I didn't kill her. Rosie did. Rosie chose her instead of me. Rosie chose her for the main stage. Rosie put her on cables. I didn't kill her. Rosie did.
Belladonna, do you hear yourself? You cut them. You killed her. You said she'd just be out of commission. You didn't tell me she'd be dead.
Oh, Nick, poor thing, you must be confused. As I said, Rosie killed Mavis, not me. And if I did in this silly little scenario of yours, you were there too. And you watched me. And you did nothing. So who really killed her, Nick? Rosie put on cables. You watched and did nothing. And now you blame me.
Belladonna, who have you become? I don't recognize you.
As I said, Nick, you're confused, accusing me of murder, as if you didn't saw the cables yourself.
I didn't.
Oh, but you could have. And who do you think they'll believe? The magician known for concealing and deceiving, or the fortune teller?
Are you saying you're going to frame me?
Of course not, Nick. Let's get one thing straight. Rosie is responsible for Mavis's death. Not only did you and I have nothing to do with it, but
here for 13 years.
Now people think they're going home, but I haven't been to my home in I don't know how long. I don't know if my family is still there or if anyone's left. There is no home for us.
This is all Rosie's fault. First under her watch, Mavis is gone, and now she's getting rid of the rest of us. She didn't care for any of us.
I mean, it couldn't have all been that bad. Mavis brought us success. Why risk that?
She was thinking of where to go next, when we can book show dates, how much we can charge for ticket sales in a month. Her focus was never on us. Isn't the way she's casting us all aside prove it?
Right? Most of us only have what we got here, and now it's gone.
Look, I am here to help you all, to help us. Me and Nick are thinking of keeping the show going, and Mavis is on air, but Rosie won't agree to it.
Why not?
Nice question.
She thinks we can't go on without Mavis, but what about the rest of us? I say we prove her wrong. Rosie, please, listen to me.
Why would I want to talk to you, Nick?
Please, Rosie, just hear me out. I don't have a lot of time before she gets back. Look, Belladonna is...
I don't want to hear another word about you two. I've heard enough.
Listen! She wants to steal whatever supplies are left and start her own show. She's been pacing around for 2 days, trying to figure out a way to keep things going. Now, she's out trying to get the acts that haven't left yet to join her. I can't get her to let go of this. And if she finds out I'm speaking to you, I don't know, Rosie, but you have to stop this.
Where is she?
I think she's in the main tent. She can't know that I spoke to you, Rose. Promise me. Rose, promise me.
I promise. I will handle it. Belladonna, that's enough. I warned you. Your time here is done.
Rosie, I don't know what you're talking about. You'll have to be more specific.
You prey on the minds of innocent people. You show no sympathy for Mavis. And from the moment I chose her, you have been pushing against it. And now you see her death as an opportunity to take her place and drag as many people as you can with you. And I will not stand for it. I've thought with you enough on this, and I am not repeating myself. Pack your things and go.
Rosie, how dare you accuse me of such things? You must be mistaken. Besides, if what you're saying is true, circus is done, show is over, you're not the boss of me anymore. You don't get to tell me what to do.
You're still in my house, Belladonna. I still own these tents. And while I do, you're not welcome. You can deny all you want to, but if you want to replace Mavis and take the reins and lead your own show, it will not happen here. I want you gone tonight.
We all know who you really are, Rosie, and we know what you did. Mavis is gone because of you. You can play pretend and push me and everyone else away, but this isn't the last of me. You'll see me again. I'll prove you wrong and show you what real success looks like, and I'm willing to take anyone else who wants to come with me.
Do any of you want to follow Belladonna? Because if you do, you can leave along with her tonight. Or you can stay. Give Mavis a proper funeral. And mourn together. And take your time to find a new job. I can help you, but first, you need to say goodbye to Mavis.
Fine. I see how it is. Waste your time and your talents. Clearly, I'll have to prove you all wrong. I know what you did, Nick. What? I'm not that stupid. And Rosie isn't that smart. Now, since you can't keep your mouth shut, I'll have to keep a close find where she keeps the spare key. It works. The door's open. It's done. I did it. I could leave. But where can I go? Not yet. I know where the key is. I'll get out of here.
I'm making spaghetti and meatballs tonight. Hopefully you eat them this time. Rosie still hasn't responded to any of her letters. Perhaps we'll need to take a more hands-on approach.
What does that mean?
Well, she's still a loose end. She has possessions of things that might lead to some unpleasant truths. I didn't expect she'd take everything with her. It was a foolish mistake. Now I'd like to make sure those things stay hidden.
So you want to visit her?
Oh, no, that won't be enough. I found a house for sale down the block from her. We'll be moving in a few months.
Okay. Bus leaves at 10:45 p.m. If I can get out and on the bus, I can find a police station and get out of here. No. It can't be gone. It can't be.
Oh, Nick. When will you learn that I have eyes and ears everywhere?
Belladonna.
I know what you did, Nick. You sent Rosie a letter. And you got lucky, too, because before I could go and find it, it was gone. But your luck had to run out eventually. Well, maybe I could let this slide, but this is strike 3.
It wasn't what you think. It was
Oh, don't lie, Nick. It's over. You blabbed to Rosie about restarting the circus. You sent her a letter. And now you're trying to escape. But you made one fatal mistake, Nick. You should have left when you were already outside. And it really is disappointing. I've really grown to enjoy your company this past year. But I warned you. And now I'll have to keep my vow.
Ian! Why are you packing?
I'm leaving, Mom.
Ian, please, can we just sit down and talk about this for a minute?
How can I stay here, Mom? How can I stay here with you? I was worried about Mavis the moment you announced this. The first thing I said was, is this safe? Will Mavis be safe? And I was lied to.
Ian, I didn't lie. People have been doing this for decades, and I checked the cables before every show. I promise I did everything I could to keep her safe.
No! Mom, you were adding tour dates and pushing us to keep going. You didn't care about Mavis' safety. You didn't care about Mavis at all.
It's not true, Ian. I loved her like a daughter. What more can I do to prove it to you? The show is over now.
It's over because you know we can't come back from the bad publicity. I can't stay here. I'm leaving.
Ian, please. No, I loved her and I love you. Please, don't go.
I'm sorry. Good to see you too. Thank you all for coming. I know that not all of us were in touch with my mother, and that many of us are seeing each other for the first time in a long time. But I know you all cared for her, and that she would have been thrilled to see those of us left all together again. My mother was tough on us at times, but she dedicated her heart and her mind to the circus. Madame Rosalie's Big Top was a success from the moment she took the curtains to the moment she took the reins to the moment she closed the curtains. But more importantly than the show, she cared about each and every one of us and rooted for our success, whether or not it was under pretense. She did everything she could to build something she was proud of and that we would be proud to be part of. She loved me, and she loved Mavis like her own daughter, helped her build her confidence and grow as a performer and as a person, just as she helped us all. I know a lot of you have mixed opinions about my mother and Mavis. Some of you believe it was an accident. Some of you believe believe she didn't do enough to ensure her safety. But I'd like to use this time to tell you all the truth. As I was cleaning out her apartment, I found a letter from Nick to my mother that she had stored unopened in a drawer in a vanity. I'll read it now.
Rosie, I know we haven't spoken, but something is wrong, and I need to tell you the truth. Mavis did not die because of you. The cables were fine. Belladonna killed Mavis. And I have to confess that I was involved too. She was jealous. She told me Mavis would have a minor injury and we'd have a chance to perform and show you we were worth putting on the stage alongside Mavis. It was cruel. And I regret agreeing every day, but I thought she would recover. Belladonna killed her on purpose. And now I think she's going to kill me. Let me go right now. She's always watching me, keeps me locked in the house and monitors the mail. I think she thinks I'm a threat because I know the truth, but I had to take this chance. I am so sorry. I regret it every day, so if writing this while Belladonna is out is my last act, I hope it reaches you and that there will be justice. If you need more proof, she hid the saw she used to cut the cable inside the paneling of your vanity. Good luck.
How dare you make such cruel accusations at your own mother's funeral? You all abandoned her and yet accuse me, the one person who stuck by her side all those years.
If by that you mean stopped, my mother didn't respond to your letters. She didn't want to speak to you. You moved down the road to keep an eye, but not out of concern like you lied to me. You did it to protect yourself. Then when she died, you thought you would pretend you were close, so that way I'd let you help me pack her things.
Lies, it's all lies. You forced her to...
No, you framed her, Belladonna. You're the one who blamed her. Told everyone that she wasn't careful enough, and she put Mavis in a deadly position. But you and Nick were jealous, and you saw the cables, and you killed her. I know, because Nick was right. You hid it inside the paneling of your vanity, so that if anyone found it, they'd blame her and your name would be clear. But you didn't expect her to take the vanity with her, and you couldn't stop Nick from sending his letter of confession.
It isn't true.
And Nick, you killed him too. You told me that you didn't know what happened to him, that you missed his funeral, but the truth is that you were with him the whole time. He knew the truth, so you kept him close, and you locked him in, and when he tried to escape, you killed him, so he couldn't expose you.
No!
You killed Mavis, you killed Nick, and you framed my mother. But you couldn't get your hands on Nick's last letter, which my mother probably ignored because it had your address. You couldn't get your hands on the saw, and now you'll spend the rest of your days rotting in jail.
No! No! No!
Goodbye, Belladonna. My mother loved me. She loved Mavis. And she loved all of you. She was innocent and did everything she could to keep Mavis safe. To my mother, I'm so sorry that I wasn't there for you. But now that your name is clear, I hope you'll be able to rest in peace, and we will remember you as the strong and dedicated leader you always were. Thank you all for coming. Good night.